Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing the products that I would have in my own personal makeup bag if I were not on YouTube and I did not review makeup. These are the products I would personally own if I had to start from scratch and create my own makeup bag. This would be it. Everything in this bag is on my face. These are the products that I would go out and buy. Wouldn't think twice about it. These are my non-negotiable holy grails. If you're new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty content here on my channel, and I would love for you to subscribe if you have not already, but let's just go ahead and get into it. We're gonna go through and see what I have in this bag. Let's get into it. This video was actually inspired by one of my favorite people here on YouTube, Andrea Ali. She's a makeup artist based in Paris and I adore her. She did a video very similar to this a few weeks ago and it inspired me to create my own version of this. So it was definitely inspired by her. I'm sure a lot of you watch her channel already, but if you don't, definitely go watch her. I will put her channel in the description box. But let's go ahead and get into what's in my bag. So I'm just gonna go in like the order that I typically apply makeup in. Let's talk about primer. There is no primer in this bag. I would not have a primer if I did not review makeup and I didn't get sent PR. I wasn't trying new things constantly. I just don't think primer is essential for me at this point. Now, maybe obviously you change as you get older, your skin changes. Maybe at some point I will feel that a primer is just necessary, but right now I think skincare underneath is a lot more important and can definitely substitute a primer step. So there is no primer in this bag. I do have primers that I like, but nothing that I would go out and buy if I were starting a makeup collection from scratch. All right, let's get into foundation, skin tints. So for most of these things, I only picked one product, but there were a few categories where I picked two things, and I'll kind of explain why. So foundation, skin tint, I picked one of each. I picked a foundation and a skin tint. We'll start with what I have on my face today, and it's this one from Ciele. This is the Tint and Protect Tinted Serum with SPF 50. This is zinc oxide based, so it's a mineral SPF, and I absolutely love this product. This is my favorite skin tint right now by far. I use this constantly. When I want to do like an everyday lighter makeup look, I'm reaching for this all the time. This is just fantastic. It's in a dropper, which is not my favorite packaging, but that's okay. I love the product. The other thing I love about this is if you have dry skin, this is very hydrating on the skin, very hydrating. It's a serum, so it feels a little bit more like a skincare type of product, but it has great coverage. You can get a solid medium coverage from this. I wear the shade light number 3 and it wears well on me. I will say it works the best, I would say, for normal to dry skin. It might be a little bit too much for someone with oily skin. And I did want to just throw this in here. I did not include this product in this video because I can't use it right now. But those of you that have been watching my videos for a long time, this won't shock you. If I didn't have dry skin, which I do right now, I'm pregnant, I'm 24 weeks pregnant, this is what I would buy. This is my Estée Lauder Double Wear Sheer, and this has SPF in it. It's SPF 19. It has chemical SPF. I am not currently using that since I'm pregnant. And I haven't worn this in 6 months, and it makes me really sad because this is a holy grail for me. This would be much better for normal, leaning, oily, whereas this one would be normal, dry. So right now, this is working much better for my skin anyway, and it's a mineral SPF. This one is fantastic. I will absolutely go back to this product when I'm not pregnant anymore, but I did just want to throw this in because if I weren't pregnant at the moment, I would probably go for this. Not to say I don't like Ciele, but this just works best for me if my skin is dry. But if you don't have dry skin and you want a lightweight, lighter coverage, everyday product, this one from Estée Lauder is fantastic. And then the foundation that I chose, this was pretty easy. Armani Luminous Silk, of course. So this would be like if I were doing a full face of makeup kind of product, if I were doing my makeup for a special occasion and I wanted it to look as good as it can, this would be what I would go for. I will say the coverage level that you can get from these two, Ciele and Armani, are very similar. This one is just, you know, it's a more expensive product. It doesn't have SPF. This is what I think of when I think of like a more special occasion foundation, but it's beautiful. It's a natural, slightly glowy finish without being oily or greasy. And it just always looks good. It never looks heavy, it never looks cakey, never disappoints me. So my foundation would be Armani Luminous Silk. The next product in my bag would be a color corrector. Of course, you know, I never skip color corrector under my eyes. I do it. If I do makeup, I put color corrector on. And this was a pretty easy choice. It would be the Caliray. I just love this product. I have other correctors that I also love, but this one just checks all the boxes for me. It's thin, it's lightweight, it's hydrating, and it layers well with concealer over the top. This is also a great, what I would call mixer corrector. So you could also take a little bit of this if you have, you know, dark circles, discoloration like me. You could take a dot of this where you have the discoloration, then take a dot of your concealer and mix them together. This formula works really well in that way as well because it's so thin and it's just very easy to mix in with other things. So this is a non-negotiable for me. This one is the shade Cool Sunrise. This is what I have on today, but they did just expand the shade range. There's a new shade called Radiant or Radiate. I can't remember. It's a little bit lighter than this one and it's a little bit more pink. That one I can get away with wearing on its own, to be honest. This one is one that's a little bit deeper that I do need to put concealer on top. But this formula is fantastic. The packaging is great. It's glass. I can't say enough good things about this. This is the best color corrector at Sephora right now, in my opinion. Moving into concealer, another very easy choice. Of course, non-negotiable would be the Natasha Denona Hy-Glam concealer. I have two shades here. I don't need two shades, but I have them. And honestly, I'd probably buy both again because I just like having two different tones depending on if I'm applying it on my face or under my eyes. So I like the shade N2 on my face to add additional coverage. So I like to use this when I use the skin tint and just add coverage in areas where I need a little bit more. That's what I like to use this for. And this is shade N2. This is just perfection in my mind in a concealer. It is thin, not heavy, unless you apply too much. I will say that if you apply too much, this can look heavy, but if you just apply like one dot, one swipe of this concealer, it's just beautiful. It's fantastic. The coverage is impeccable. Shade range is amazing. The neutral shades are actually neutral. I can't be without this, truly. This is something I would repurchase again and again and again. I also love this shade for the under eyes. This is shade RN3. So I like this because it has a little bit more of a pinky undertone for under the eyes. And that works really well for me with my discoloration that I have, my blue kind of purple tones right here. So I do like this shade for under the eyes. However, I could definitely get away with N2 just everywhere. But this was probably the easiest choice in this whole bag because this is just it for me. Nothing beats it. Moving into the powder. Now this one might surprise you. I actually did not choose a loose powder. I chose a pressed powder, which typically loose powders do technically set your makeup the best. But I tried to think in terms of what I know I personally reach for the most. As a consumer, I would use a pressed powder more than a loose powder. So I think if I was starting from scratch, I would buy a pressed powder first. And the one that I went with is actually the Tower 28. This is the Blur and Set pressed powder. I have mine in Palisades pink. It's really not that pink. It doesn't look pink at all when you apply it. It looks just like a lighter translucent powder, but I chose this because number one, it is pretty mattifying for a pressed powder, and I think it does a really good job of setting makeup, even though it is a pressed powder. It's not loose, obviously. I also like this one for my under eyes, and that's kind of unusual for me. Typically, I don't love a lot of powders for under the eyes, but I actually do like the Tower 28 one under my eyes as well. So this could be for the face, for the under eyes, and I really like it. I find it very blurring, very smoothing, and it doesn't look heavy on me. It also pairs really well with the Ciele, which is what I'm using right now, because this is pretty hydrating, definitely more on the glowy side. This is more matte, so this really helps take down some of that shine, and I really love it. I think this would be the powder I would choose. I almost went with Kosas Cloud Set, but that one doesn't really mattify a ton to me. It just kind of takes away a little bit of shine, but I wouldn't say that it really sets or mattifies the face. So I went with this one for a pressed powder. Moving into bronzer. So I do have a few things in this category. The first one had to be this. This is the Makeup by Mario Bronzing and Shaping Serum. This stuff is so incredible. If you like a more natural looking bronzer, you want like a wash of warmth or bronze for your face, you don't want to look like you're wearing intense cream bronzer or powder bronzer. This is like kind of like a watercolor bronzer is how I would describe it. And you get a pump in here, which is another reason I chose it. So you can mix it with products. You can mix it on the back of your hand with a foundation. You can apply it, from the back of your hand, or you can apply with the doe foot applicator. I know not everyone loves the doe foot. I personally really like it. It doesn't bother me. Or you can just draw it on, blend it in, and this is something that is so thin and lightweight, and it actually sets down. It doesn't stay tacky or sticky at all on your face. It's not going to give you a lot of intensity though, and a lot of pigment. So if that's what you're looking for, you wouldn't like this. But if you like just like a very soft, everyday, very light looking bronze, this is a fantastic product. I almost chose the Skin Enhancer from Mario, which I also love. But I went with this one just because it's a little bit more versatile, because it has the pump and the doe foot. I just feel like I could get a little bit more versatility out of this one than that one. But the Skin Enhancer is great as well, and I would buy that again. But I went with the Mario Shaping Serum. This one is in the shade Light. And then if I wanted something a little bit more intense, a little bit more of like a makeup type of bronzing, contouring product, I would absolutely buy Westman Atelier Face Trace in the shade Biscuit. I did apply a little bit of Biscuit today, kind of underneath where I applied the Mario Shaping Serum. This is just a perfect shade for my skin tone. It's cool leaning without looking gray. And it just gives a little bit more of like that sculpted look, if that's what I was going for. If I was doing, a full face of makeup, I would use something like this. Not so much like an everyday kind of product, but I would absolutely keep one of these in my makeup bag 100%. I also love using this sometimes around the lips. You can use it on the eyes as like a cream eyeshadow. And the shade is just perfect for my skin tone. So I would absolutely have a Westman Atelier Biscuit. And then one more bronzer. If I wanted a powder bronzer and I had to have just one, it would be this. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer in Nude Bronze Light. This is more of, I was gonna say a luminous bronzer. It's not dewy looking or glittery. It just has that really pretty sheen that baked powders typically have, especially the Hourglass ones. And this would be my choice. It's not a super pigmented bronzer. It doesn't give you a ton of impact, but that's personally what I like. So like today I used just a little bit of this over the top of the other two products, just to set them in place. But this is a great powder bronzer. It's not too much. It's a really nice neutral tone, and it also looks beautiful on the eyes. It's like a crease color. So I would absolutely have the Hourglass bronzer in my bag. Okay, let's move into blush. Now, this may or may not shock you. I don't know if you watch my videos a lot. I chose a cream and a powder for this category. And no, it is not the Patrick Ta blush duos. Only because, or let me share the ones that I did choose. For cream, I went with this from Makeup by Mario. This is the Soft Pop Plumping Blush Veil in Barely Blushing, which you can see is a perfect lighter pinky nude neutral blush. The reason I went with this is because this is an effortless blush. You cannot mess this up. You can add more to get more intensity, or you can add just the slightest bit and get a very, very sheer application. You can apply this with your eyes closed. Like the Mario Skin Enhancer, you can't screw this up. And if I'm thinking of myself with no other makeup and how I do my makeup most days, that's the kind of product I reach for. So I went with this from Mario. Now this is definitely a dewier type of blush. So if you don't love that, you would not love this formula. But if you do, these are fantastic because they are that thin kind of balmy texture. They're not on their own the most long-lasting blushes. So I do typically apply a little bit of a powder blush over the top of this. But what I also like about this formula is you can actually apply this over a powdered face. So if you used, say, a powder bronzer, or you set your cheeks with powder, you can apply these blushes, the Skin Enhancer from Mario as well, on over the powder. And it actually looks beautiful that way. It doesn't pick up anything. It applies great over powder. So you can do it either way, cream and then powder, or cream over a powdered face, which I love about them as well. The reason I did not choose the Patrick Ta blushes, as you know, if you watch my content, I love those blushes and I love Not Too Much. That one's my favorite. Those blushes just aren't the most user-friendly. I feel very comfortable using them because I use them so many times and I apply makeup all the time for videos and content, but if I didn't have any makeup and I know myself and how I apply it on a daily basis and the kind of look that I go for, I like things that are softer, that are more everyday, more natural looking on the skin. And the Patrick Ta blushes are not that. They are more of a, intense makeup look kind of formula because they're very pigmented. Even if you use just a little bit, you still get a lot of pigment, especially with the powder blush in there. So that's why I didn't go for, or I didn't choose that for this video. I do love them, but if I didn't have any makeup and I was starting over, I'm not sure that formula would be what I would go for to be my only option, if that makes sense. And then I did choose a powder blush, and this might shock you, I don't know, but I had to go with RMS. I have three. This is the one that's the most neutral. This is Crystal Slipper. These are called the Redimension Hydra Powder Blushes. And again, these are kind of foolproof powders as well. You can't really overdo it with these. They have a lot of glow to them, so definitely not going to be for a matte blush lover. But if you like some glow, these are great. There are so many beautiful colors, and I personally am someone that likes a little bit of glow in my blush, so these are fantastic. And they're not hard to apply. You could really just dip your brush in, go right on your face, and you don't have to worry with this formula. So that's why I went with this. I'm sure that probably shocks some of you that watch me all the time, but for everyday type of makeup and those types of products, these are the kinds of formulas that I like most. I chose one highlighter, and unfortunately it's a pricey one, but this is my favorite highlighter that I own. If I had to pick one, it would be Victoria Beckham Reflect Highlighter in the shade Pearl. So this is a cream highlighter stick, as you can see. So this one doesn't have much base pigment to it. It just gives you that wet look to your skin without being super shimmery. It has some shimmer if you look really, really close, but it is fine, like micro shimmer. And I like this because I could use this with anything. It doesn't matter what blush I have on, nothing. I could use this over anything. I like to use just a little bit with my ring finger, tap it on, and that is the glow that you see there today. And I just love it. I just love it. It is a cream, so it doesn't set down all the way, but I will say for a cream highlighter, this one sets pretty well. Not all the way, but it doesn't feel heavy or sticky on the skin. And it doesn't have much base pigment, so I could wear it with literally anything. I don't wear highlighter on a daily basis, but I do feel like I would want one highlighter, and it would have to be this one. Moving into brow products, I chose two things here. These were really easy. The first is my favorite eyebrow pencil of any of them, any drugstore and high-end, the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. I've been through probably 7 or 8 of these, maybe more than that at this point, I don't know. But this is just my favorite brow pencil. It's perfect in every single way. Has a spoolie, of course, but it's very, very small. You can get very small, precise brow strokes with it, or brow hair strokes with it, or you can fill in a little bit with it. The formula is creamy enough that you don't have to press down too hard, but it's got a little bit of that waxiness to it, so it doesn't slide around everywhere and smear on the skin or any of that. And it's affordable. It's just fantastic. I use the shade Ash Brown. I can also use Cool Ash Brown. This one in Ash Brown works better for me right now because I have more warmth to my hair. But my natural hair color, Cool Ash Brown, works the best. So either one, but this is the brow pencil I would go out and buy. And the other thing I would go buy is my trusty Maybelline Build-A-Brow. This is a brow pen. If you've never seen this product before, it has a really fine tip. And this is like a brow pen tint. So the pen is not super pigmented. It's very soft. So you can get really soft hair strokes with it. It's not anything crazy pigmented, which is why I like it. It's very forgiving. If you're new to brow pens or if you're heavy-handed, you can't mess this one up. This one is very, very easy. And I love how small the point is, so you can do very precise little brow strokes with it. Today I used the Micro Brow from NYX kind of all over. And then I just took the pen and I just added a few little hair strokes anywhere where I saw tiny little gaps or just places where I wanted a little bit more fullness. I use this and it's great. I use medium brown in this one. And then I actually didn't choose a brow gel or a separate one because the Build-A-Brow has a brow gel. On the other end, it has a tiny little spoolie that looks like this. And actually this brow gel is very good. It keeps the brows in place. It's not goopy. It doesn't leave like the weird white looking residue in your brows. And it's like a 2-in-1. It's great. Something else I love about this pen is, I didn't do this today, but I've done it many times. If you are wanting a liquid eyeliner and maybe you struggle with liquid liner, or maybe you don't, but you just don't want to buy a separate liquid liner, this works great to make a wing. Because it's so small and it's not just crazy pigmented right away, this makes a very nice soft wing as well. Okay, moving into eye products. This would be my eye primer. I would go out and buy again. This is the Sigma eyeshadow base and primer. I have a few of them, but this one is in Persuade. It's very similar to MAC Paint Pot and Painterly. The tone is almost identical to that, but this is just a crayon basically, or an eyeshadow stick. So you just rub it on, scribble it on, blend it with a brush or your finger if you want. And this is a great base for eyeshadow. You can wear it alone. I usually use this pretty much anytime I do my makeup just because I naturally have a lot of discoloration on my eyelids. And this just evens them out. I can put shadow on top if I want to, but this is just great. And you know, I love the MAC paint pots. Those are classic, but there's something about just a crayon like this that you can just scribble on really, really easily. So eye primer of choice would absolutely be this one from Sigma. And then in terms of like color eye products, okay, I really narrowed this down here. I chose one liquid or cream eyeshadow. I guess this would be a liquid. These from Armani, I've talked about these many times, but they are the Armani Eye Tints. And these are the two that I would buy. Shade 18 and shade 22. I have both of these on my eyes today. Shade 18 is more of just a light kind of beigey color. It's pretty neutral. It's not super cool or warm leaning. And then 22 is a little bit deeper and it's more of a warm brown. So we have shade 18 right there. So you can see there's not a lot of color to that one. And then shade 22. But these are so easy. They're kind of a moussey texture, but then look, like they blend so easily. I mean, you could blend this with your finger on your eye if you really wanted to. I typically use a brush with mine, but these are fantastic. So today I used 18 kind of all over my eye in place of that Sigma eye primer. And then I took a little bit of 22 in the outer corner and just kind of blended it up and into the crease a little bit. They last all day. They don't crease on my eyes. They're so good. They come in so many pretty colors, but these are the two that I use all the time. And these are the two I would definitely have in my personal makeup bag. Those are great on their own. And I could absolutely just apply those the way I did today and stop there for eyeshadow. But I did choose one eyeshadow palette. And I don't know if this will surprise you or not. Probably not. If I had to pick one palette right now, it would be this one. Yes, the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes, the neutrals, because I love everything about this. I love the formula. They're not too pigmented, but they are buildable, and I can use every single shade in here. I definitely use these two rows the most. I don't use the deeper shades as often for like an everyday look, but again, if I wanted to have just one palette that I could do the lightest makeup look with and, you know, a deeper, smokier look with, I could do that with this. And I have every color. They're not too warm. These tones are more neutral to cool leaning, which works great for my skin tone, and I love it. It's not a huge palette. It's not the smallest palette ever, but it's not gigantic. So it fits in my bag really easily. Today, after I used the Armani's, I took a little bit of these two light shades right here, the cream and this pink, kind of in the inner part of the eye. And then I took a few of these, actually this gray, and then these two on the end. I kind of mixed them together, went over my crease with those, and that's what I did today on top of the Armani. But I could obviously just use this with the Sigma primer underneath, or I could use this over the Armani shadows. I could use the Armani shadows by themselves. So there's a lot of different options. And then I'm sure you're thinking, Blair, you typically like a little bit of sparkle on your eyes, and you are right. I do. So what I decided to go for is this from Patrick Ta, because then I could use any of these things. And if I want a little bit of sparkle, I have a silver and I have a gold. So this is the Patrick Ta Major Dimension Eyeshadow Duo in We Need Better Lighting. And these are beautiful and fantastic. I love that I would have a cooler and a warmer. And these are also nice because you can really get your finger in there and swipe these on and get a lot of shimmer, like intense, opaque shimmer. Or you can just barely tap in. This is what I did today, and get that. Do you see that on your finger or on my finger? And then just tap a little bit of it on and you get that ethereal kind of scattered light shimmer, kind of like the shimmers in the Mario Ethereal Eyes palette. And I have two. I have a cooler or a more silver and a warmer golden color. I chose one eyeliner, and it was a very easy choice, the Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal liners. Now I own almost all the shades in this eyeliner, but if I didn't have any, they're very expensive, so I wouldn't go out and just buy every single one. I would buy this one first, which is Cinnamon. Cinnamon is just a beautiful bronzy, warm brown. So that is Cinnamon, but it's neutral, so it goes with everything. It's not a super deep dark brown. I do have Cocoa from Victoria Beckham, which is the deep dark brown that I love, but this one can give you that kind of effect, but it's just a little bit softer. And I just love a slightly metallic pencil, especially for the type of makeup looks I like. I don't do a ton of intense eye looks, and it's just great. This does have a smudger on the end. I did use the smudger today, actually. I don't typically use it. I did use it for this video just to show, but the smudger is not my favorite on these. That's the only thing. It's kind of hard and a little difficult to use. It's a little rough on the eyes, but you know, it comes with the liner, so that's nice to have. But these are great. They're creamy until they set down, and then that's it. They're there, they're staying. You have a little bit of time to play around with them, but once you apply them and they set, they're gonna stay. And they apply beautifully in the waterline as well. Today I used this in the waterline and the upper lash line. This is my favorite eyeliner by far. And yeah, if I had to pick one in one color, it would be Cinnamon. I chose one mascara, and it's e.l.f. Lash and Roll. I know, I don't know how many times I've talked about this one on my channel, but I can't live without this mascara. It's perfect in every way. This is exactly what I love in a mascara. Today, I kind of built it up a little bit more. I did like 2 coats of it, but usually for just like a soft everyday look, I'll just do 1 coat of this. And it's a very natural looking mascara. So it's very separating, a little bit lengthening, but it basically just very slightly defines the lashes. It is not intense. It's not going to give you like a lash extension type of look. This is definitely more of a natural formula, but that's what I like. You can build it up a little bit, but you're still not going to get a ton of volume or intensity, but I don't want that most of the time. So this is just the perfect mascara for me. It also does not flake, it does not smudge, and it comes in brown. That's the shade that I use the most. It's called Deep Brown, and I love it. The wand on this is a rubber wand that is curved, very similar to Benefit Roller Lash. Very, very similar to that, but this one comes in brown, and it's a lot less expensive. So this would be an easy mascara choice for me. And finally, moving into the lips. For lip liner, now I am a lip liner girl. I love lip liners. I have so many, and I love a lot of them. I chose one, but honestly, I know myself and I would probably buy 2 if I was starting from scratch. But if I had to pick one, this would be it. Makeup by Mario Ultra Suede Lip Liner in Almond. Any of the colors are great. He has so many good ones. But this one in Almond is just a perfect warmer, neutral brown. So this is Almond. These are my favorite. If I had to pick one formula, it would be Makeup by Mario. I used this one today. This one does have the little brush on the end, which is also nice. So if you make a mistake or you just kind of want to blend your liner in a little bit, or you want to smudge it a little bit, blend it in with your lip color, whatever the case is, you have that on the other end, which is great. And these are so long wearing. They're so long wearing. They're a traditional wooden pencil, but they do last, and they are just creamy enough for a wooden pencil without being more of like a gel formula that tends to want to move and just isn't as long wearing. So I would always have a Makeup by Mario lip liner in my makeup bag. And moving into like a lipstick kind of product, I actually almost didn't even include one of these because I'm not a huge lipstick person. I'm much more of a liner and gloss person, but I did go with this, and this is a newer product to me. This is one of the newer things that I'm including in this video, but this RMS Legendary Lip Serum. This one is in the shade May. This was love at first use. The color is perfect in the shade May. It's like a perfect neutral pinky nude, but these are so unique. They kind of feel wet as you're applying them, almost like water. They're very cooling, almost like a stain, but it's not a stain. It's like a lipstick, but it's a very unique formula. Once you apply it, they're very pigmented and pretty creamy, but when they go on, they almost feel like they're going to be a little bit more of like a thin lip stain kind of formula, but very, very nice on the lips. Hydrating without being super glossy. They're kind of a similar product to the Makeup by Mario Moisture Glow Lip Serums, which I've loved those for years and years. This one is just not as glossy, or doesn't make your lips look wet and give you like that glossy look. This one adds a little bit of hydration and a lot of pigment, and it's creamy, just not as glossy as the Mario product. But this has been a go-to lately. I reach for this all the time. It's in my everyday makeup drawer for the moment, or for this month. And it goes with everything that I wear. It looks great with the Mario lip liner. So I feel like this would be something I would absolutely go out and buy again and have in my personal makeup bag. And then I did choose one lip gloss, even though I am a gloss person. I love a lot of different lip glosses, but this is the one I would go out and buy again. 100% my Dior Lip Maximizer. This has been a favorite for years. This color in 38 Rosy Nude. I have it on over that RMS Lip Serum, and it's perfect. It is just perfect in every way. It does plump the lips just a little bit, but these don't hurt. They don't even really tingle that much. I mean, I guess maybe you feel a little bit of a tingle with these, but it's nothing crazy. Like, I think most people could probably handle it. And this color, this rosy kind of nude shade, is perfect. It goes with everything. All the colors that I wear, this looks great with. I wear this all the time with just a lip liner, like the Mario lip liner, or it layers well on top of other products too. So this would be my gloss of choice. One more lip product. I would definitely have some type of lip treatment in my bag, and it would be this one. Hands down, 100% the Ole Henriksen Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatment. Now this one is just the clear one. So this one doesn't have any color to it. They do make ones with a tint. They also make ones now with a tint and some shimmer in them as well. And I don't have all of them, but I have most of them. But the one that I would go out and buy again as soon as I ran out would be this one. And this is just the plain one. It does have a little bit of like a citrus orangey scent to it, but I think it smells good. I really like it. But this is the best lip treatment at Sephora. I'm sorry. Yes, it is better than Laneige. Yes, it is better than Summer Fridays. I'm sorry. It's the best one. It is a very thick lip treatment, but not in a bad way. It just really nourishes and kind of plumps the lips. Like if you have a lot of lines in your lips, you have dry lips, I guarantee you this will really hydrate and make your lips look and feel so much better. I use this every single day before I do my makeup. I'll apply my SPF and I'll apply this on my lips. And by the time I get to the lip step in my makeup routine, they're very hydrated, and it's all from this, I'm telling you. As you can see, mine's almost gone. I already have a backup of this. So this would absolutely be in my personal makeup bag. And the final product in here is a setting spray. I don't think you have to have a setting spray, but I do personally like them. And if I just had one for me, for my personal makeup bag, it would be this one. Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. I've already been through 2 of these. I think this is my 3rd one. I usually have a mini of it, but I don't have one right now. But this one's my favorite. I have so many. I have the Milk, I have the MAC one, I have One Size, I have Urban Decay. But if I had to get one, it would be this one. because this sets my makeup. I'm telling you, it does keep your makeup on your face. It doesn't add too much hydration, but it's not like a mattifying setting spray either. Just kind of right in between, and it just keeps my makeup on. Keeps it on longer, keeps it in place, and it's my favorite. All right, so those are my holy grails, non-negotiable products that if I were starting a makeup bag from scratch, and this was all I was gonna have, all I was gonna own, these would be the ones. And it all fits in this cute little bag. This bag I just randomly ordered off Amazon, and it's really cute actually. It fits quite a bit, but it's nice because when you open it, it kind of like pops open like this. And then when you go to zip it, it kind of gets a little bit skinnier and it goes like this. But it came in a few different colors. I'll link it below for you if you're in the market for a new makeup bag, but this one is really, really cute. And I hope you enjoyed just hanging out with me, chatting about my absolute favorite products. I know I love to watch videos like this. I think it's so interesting seeing what other people have in their makeup bag or what they would have if they didn't have a huge collection, because especially people that are on social media doing makeup beauty content all the time, we try a lot of things. I get things in PR, I review things. So I end up with a lot of makeup, but these are the things that I feel so certain about and so strongly about that I know if I were making a makeup bag from scratch, these would be the ones that would have to be here. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I will have all the products linked in the description box for you with my shades and everything. I will also link in YouTube shopping for you as well. If you do shop through any of my links, I do make a commission that supports me and this channel. So thank you so much for that. And if you're new, I would love for you to subscribe. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. If it was helpful, please, please thumbs it up. I always forget to say that, but it does make a difference. And make sure to go follow me on Instagram if you are not already at simply.blair, and I am also on TikTok at simply.blair1. And I will see you again very soon. Remember, simply be you.